And retrograde burn. And we're just going to wait until our orbit closes and gets relatively small. Vroom, and... bring this down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Just burn a little more carefully. And at some point, again, this would become our highest point. So we can burn a little bit more. It's going to bring down the peri a little bit, but mostly we're bringing down the apoapsis some more. All right, there we go. Good. And we've got a little bit of fuel left in this tank, which is lovely because we can use this to arrest our motion and go for the landing. All right, so landing on the moon is a lot trickier than Minmus because, one, it has more gravity than Minmus. Minmus basically has no gravity whatsoever, so the actual landing is very careful, gentle, easy. But we also need a lot more delta V here, and it's entirely possible. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if we were about to strand Jebediah on here, because I don't know how much delta V we've got in these size tanks. We need about 800 left in here to take off and off the surface. So we have to land with some amount of fuel in there, but I don't know how much that is. Either we packed enough or we didn't. Kind of getting the sense that maybe we didn't, but you know, it's fine. All right, so we want to land, really we don't kind of care where. Center on ourselves. Ideally somewhere flat, but everything on the moon is kind of lumpy. That's the other advantage of Minmus. It's got those huge frozen oceans. So I don't really care too much. I'm going to fast forward a little bit more so we're slightly more sunny. Oh, also, I would like to not land on the far side of the moon. That is true. I want to be both on the light side, as in the sunny side, which changes as the moon orbits around, but also on the near side, which, because I want to, if we get stranded, I still want to be able to send data to Kerbin. So we're actually going to wait. I'm going to sit around in orbit here for a few cycles, and I'm going to wait until the moon is over here. Because where's the sun? The sun is here. So if the moon is over here, then the side that's near Kerbin will also be pretty illuminated. I can't find, oh, there we go. Let's say there's a limit to how much you can time warp, how close you are, although I could always switch over to the flight control and do it there. Probably that's what I'm going to do, actually. Let's do one more quick save here. Let's go to the Space Center. Because if we're not using, if we're not actually controlling the ship directly, then we can time warp a lot faster. So there's the moon, and there's the sun. So I'm going to put the sun over at 9 o'clock. There's the moon. So I want to wait until the moon's over here. Vroom. There we go. That should be better. So it should be very easy to find something that's on the near side of the moon and is sunny. Bump, bump. So that's what we're doing. The Earth, or Kerbin, is good. There's the sunrise, and we're just looking for a bright spot somewhere over here. Because the moon is tidally locked, the near side and far side never changes, but the light side and dark side changes constantly. So I think we want to land somewhere over there. It's looking... no, it's all pretty lumpy. Procedural craters. All right, F it, let's just do it. So we're going to set ourselves to retrograde here, but then I'm going to switch over to just stability assist because the retrograde may change. And I want to burn entirely horizontal to kill our horizontal speed. And go. So, I'm going to do this. Now, this is not actually the most fuel-efficient way to do your landing, but it's an okay way of doing it. Okay, that's it for the stage. And right now, we're due to land, well, over there, but pretty, in much more practical terms, I think landing here looks pretty good. So I'm going to drop the throttle. I'm going to stage. Are these engines lit? Yes, they are. Good. Deploy the landing gear. Great sound. Extend the antenna. Jebediah needs... I don't think we remember to include the antenna, actually. So we actually can't transmit the data. We're supposed to add it, and we didn't. So if we can't get home... So all this worrying about, like, facing the Earth is meaningless because we actually have no signal. We're too far away. We have no antenna. You guys didn't remind me to install the antenna. What's wrong with you people? Oh, well. Let's hope we can get off this rock, then. So we're going to time warp a little bit here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to still burn horizontal to try to kill our horizontal velocity as much as possible. And I'm doing that by trying to line up the retrograde marker with the horizon. G is the key to deploy landing gear. There's also a button at the top. That's the default key anyway. So I'm just burning horizontal, and really what I'm doing is the retrograde marker is going to go to the top of the ball here at some point. And that's looking okay for now. It's not quite at the top, but it's getting there. I'm going to switch to surface mode here, which it'll happen automatically at some point, but it's much better. In our little cockpit, we can switch down here and take a look at the altitude radar, which once we get within 3 kilometers of the surface, it will tell us how far we are from the ground, which is different from the altitude over here. And that's important to know. So hopefully we don't rip Jeb, but it'll be a little bit annoying if we can't get back up. Okay, we're still well off the ground. So I still need to kill some horizontal speed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, we're still more than 3 kilometers off the ground. I'm going to kill a little bit of our vertical speed while still pushing our retrograde marker up. There we go. Now I'm going to turn retrograde. Yeah, we're definitely closing in on the ground here. We should be able to see our shadow somewhere. There it is. Now at some point you want to stop using the retrograde thing and just lock yourself facing straight up. I'm going to go and just push it over. There we go. And just lock myself straight up, because otherwise if you burn too long, what will happen is you might accidentally find yourself going upwards, at which point your retrograde becomes the other way around. I think we're going to land very carefully. Very gently. We've got slight sideways motion, but barely. Oh, a little harder landing than I expected. I thought we were a little closer. But woo-doo! We've landed on the moon! We still have slightly over half our fuel in this stage. But we have to remember, we used some of that other stage to get us down here. So I'm not 100% sure. What does the hat say? Let's make space great again. Not 100% sure that we'll be able to get back up. But that's okay. That's a problem for another day. Science Junior. We're going to get some science. We can't transmit it, which is really, really shitty. Seismometer. Or seismic activity thing. Yes. Much science. Pressure mat. Log that. Good. Thermometer. Log this. Oh, we've already got that. I think I've landed a probe in the Midlands, which has a thermometer. And so we've landed in the Midlands again. And so we can't get the temperature information, but everything else we can get. Crew report. Excellent. Okay. Now it's time for Jebediah to step outside the command module. Whee! Thump. Hooray! You're on the moon! You might be stuck here forever. Isn't that exciting? Woo! Thump. Wee, wee, wee. Alright. Planting a flag. So we're in the Midlands. This is actually a quest here to plant this flag. So I always just name my flags based on where they are, so they're easier to see from orbit. And what should the plaque say? I think I'm going to be here for a while. Okay. And we're going to take a surface sample. Boop. Now, this is not designed to return home with the goo canister or the materials bay. So we need to make sure that we grab the science from out of them. Collect data, remove, and the goo. Collect data, remove, excellent. Whoop, 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 whoop. Grab, whoa. You gonna physics screw me? Let's try that again. Grab, okay, you're good. We're gonna grab the information out of here. These are coming home, but just in case they burn up on re-entry. we're going to take all this data. Can we get the thermometer? Yep, take that. We're also going to take the crew report, and then we are going to board. Okay. A quick save. Surface report and EVA report. We did those. Did both of those. We can review. Review stored data. Surface. No, did I not do the EVA maybe? I might have forgot. Oh, because I was going to do the EVA on the ground. There we go. But we got the surface samples. So that's okay. All right. So we're going to try to do the most efficient launch we possibly can here, which is mostly going to be burning basically sideways right away, and 90 degrees is the goal, which is over there, so we got to see if we can't pull that off. Oh, man. You got the surface sample, but I didn't EVA. Yeah, you see? Yeah, then you guys are caught up. Quick save is F5. So, stability assist on. And I go for a burn, just to take off a little here. But mostly, we want to burn sideways. We do need a little bit more altitude, but not much. Again, entering orbit is about going sideways very fast, more than anything else. You need to go high enough so that you don't smack into any mountains. But otherwise... There you go. We're now at our periapsis. Okay. How much fuel do we have left? Oh, fuck, we're fine. Look how fast we're going! Vroom! 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 We can probably... There's some more... A few experiments you can get. I don't think the crew report is bio-independent. No. The temperature might be. Or even the barometer? Oh. We didn't take that barometer information, so maybe. Vroom! I mean, we're still going just as fast. You can't tell because we're not as high anymore. But wasn't that great? Okay, now to GTFO. There's Kerbal, which is where we're going. We are, there we go. Effectively, our orbit is the same as the moon's orbit. So to descend from here to there, we have to burn retrograde relative to the motion of the moon, which is always counterclockwise when you're looking straight down. So what we need to do is right around here, we need to burn prograde relative to the moon, but what it's going to do, it's going to eject us leftwise, which is the same as retrograde versus Kerbal. And in fact, if I keep burning here, you can see it's bringing our future periapsis down, 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 down. It sort of stops when it's at a certain point. Now, there's a sweet spot that we can get the most out of this. There we go. We want to bring it to where the periapsis is going to be as low as possible, which is right around here to start our burn. And then... and do that a little bit more. Okay. And that looks like it's leaving more or less tangentially. So I'm going to do that. And then, and I mean, you can get the whole burn in one go here, but I tend to F it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until we've escaped moon. And then we'll basically be at the apoapsis because of where we'll end up over here. We'll basically be at the apoapsis of our orbit around Kerbal, which means it'll be a perfect time to burn retrograde relative to Kerbal to lower us to the atmosphere. Cross our fingers that we've got enough delta V for this. But the bright side at this point is we've left the surface of the moon. I mean, we're halfway there, right? So quick save before we time warp. Yes, you're going to be doing a prograde burn, which is going to be fine. We're going to say warp to next maneuver over here. Melka, thanks for the resub. My God, if we pull this off, like, we're going to have... like, not even a drop of fuel left in the tank. Not even a drop of fuel left in the tank. Alright. For simplicity, I'm just going to lock us to prograde. Just because then I don't have to worry about adjusting anything. Even though there's, you know, optimizations here and there. And, but I'm going to go with the timing anyway. And the closer we are to the node, the closer the blue maneuver marker is going to be lined up with prograde anyway. So, I'm going to start the burn with about 4 seconds left to the node. 6, 5, 4, and burn. Okay. basically what we're looking for over there. Periapsis at 233 meters. How much fuel we got left in the tank? We got about 3 drops left. It's going to be fine. And a quick save before we do the warp. I'm going to just say warp to here for now. Okay, yeah, so we're going to be past Rapwapsis. But it should still be okay. Okay, so ideally we'd like to be burning retrograde here. And if I'm really worried about my fuel, what I could do is just orbit around Kerbal once. Come here, and that'll be the ideal place to do the retrograde burn. But I think we're going to have enough. Plus, we can always rescue mission. It's fine. Maybe I should wait. There's literally no cost in raiding. There's no reason not to wait. Let's just wait. Warp to here. Whee! Doesn't work quite as fast when we're too close to the planet. Vroom. Okay. Gonna be burning retrograde. Yes. We're still 15 minutes away from the Apwapsis, so let's get as close as we can. Just the best place. Whenever you're making a change to the opposite side of the orbit. And so if our goal is to bring down the Periapsis, I mean, we want to bring down our orbit in some way. So the best thing to bring down is the lowest point, which is the Periapsis, and therefore we want to be on the opposite side of the lowest point, which happens to be the highest point. All right, we are go for burn. I'm going to do a very slow burn here, and we're going to be aiming for somewhere between 25 and 30. Should have hardly used any fuel. Yeah, we definitely would have done it from the other one. No problem. Oh, I should have retracted the landing gear here. So we brought all the science in, although I think there's... Is it barometer over here? Yeah, take the data. I don't suppose there's any more sciencing to be done from up here, is there? High Kerbal orbit? Nope. Okay. I think we've done everything. I mean, and you can only do the seismic data when you're landed, so. So that's that. Okay. So we don't need the rest of this. At all. You know what? I keep completing these contracts. I should have actually checked to see if there was any more contracts that we could have fulfilled after planting the flag, but oh well. We don't use any power. We've got solar panels as well on this. I think we're going to ditch the rest of the experiment. We've gone and we've collected all the science out of those bits. Boom, done. This is what we're coming home with. Whoa, our Periapsis just dropped a bunch. Probably, we got a little bit of thrust from decoupling there. We got a little bit of thrust and it dropped our Periapsis. Hopefully we're not going to come in too steep. Because we are such a light thing, we're not bringing home very much other than the command pod at all. It should be okay that we're coming in a little bit lower than I tend to prefer. We're going to hit the air with a little bit more gusto, but that's okay. At some point, we'll get in range of the little built-in antenna that's in the lander here. And what I think, I say like right now, we're technically in range. So what I'm going to do, although this will eat a lot of fuel, a lot of battery. Where the hell is the sun? Okay, we've got solar power. So let me just lock so that our solar panel is... which way do I want to go? This way. We got a solar power panel that's fully facing. I'm going to review the stored data. Anything that we can transmit for full information, I'm going to transmit, if there's any. There we go. Just in case. Oh, no, you still, even if you've got a signal connection, that's right, you still can't transmit the science without the antenna. Okay, never mind then. You're going to be doing this in surface mode, but we've got a while to go before that's relevant, so warp to here. Vroom! Yeah, from 33K down to 19K just from decoupling. That's why when you're that far away, a tiny little change makes a big difference. Which is why, even though we didn't have much fuel left, we were fine. So if I didn't want to lose the stability, I could have waited until we were much closer to do the decoupling. I also could have used a little bit of the fuel that we had to kill a little bit more of our orbital velocity, but I'm feeling okay. Warp a little closer. Okay. And I think we are good to go. One more little quick save in case there's a technical problem on the way down. Time warping at ×10, but as soon as we cross over to 70,000, it will stop doing the time warping. I'm going to go ahead and do some physics warping for now because it should not lead to any disasters, but as soon as things start getting a little hot, I'm going to turn that off because we've seen weird things. This is the internal temperature of the command pod. Just getting a scooch over comfortable. Jebediah's breaking into a little bit of a sweat, but there's not going to be any heat problems whatsoever. The new SAS system means we can comfortably keep ourselves explicitly locked to retrograde on our descent, which should happen because this should be aerodynamically stable regardless, but that helps to make sure. And in the olden days, before 1.2, that would just be draining our electric charge like crazy. There's the sun, but I don't think we're getting much of a charge from the solar panels. Yeah, 0. Oh, 0.002, a little bit of energy as we angle down more and more and more. But despite that, we're basically using no electric charge because the SAS isn't going crazy fighting things. Using MechJeb was always fine, because MechJeb had the more gentle and delicate SAS approach from the start, whereas the built-in one was always like, I must use 100% battery power all the time. So now they've gone and chilled that down in the base game, which is really nice. This is an insane descent. Again, it is a little steeper than I would like at 19k target, but this is so light that the aerodynamic forces should easily slow us down. In fact, our ablator has already basically done its job completely. We didn't even use a quarter of our ablator here, so that's going to be perfectly fine. We could have taken a look inside the capsule. Oh, I'm just looking at night. That's not very fun. Oh, yeah, we're looking that way. Let's look down. How's that? There we go. Woo! It's a little disorienting. Look, the mountains are upside down. We're now looking out the window downwards. Okay, we no longer have to be locked. The parachute is safe to be deployed at 400. They like... Maybe it's because I was playing with a lot of FAR. It felt like you can only deploy them subsonically, which now we are, so that's going to be okay. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and deploy this parachute. I'll turn off the SAS. We're definitely going to land perfectly... Oh, big tip just came in. Actually, and a little one right before that, too. First, from Refric, thank you very much. You, sir, should be working for Space Recovery Services. By the way, do not get stuck on the dark side of the moon. Iron Sky taught me that. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Iron Sky, that's the one with, like, the Nazis are on the dark side of the moon, right? Yeah. An Italian Monster sent in a tip saying, buy Jebediah some booze when he gets home. Cheers. Thank you very much. So, this ascent's going to take a little while. What we're going to do is we're going to take a short break. Because it's going to take, you know, it'll fully deploy at 1,000 meters above the surface and blah, 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 blah. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, then we will try to launch the Duna, because now we'll have enough science to get our mainsail engines, which will give us the thrust that we need to get that big monster off the ground. So, see you guys in a few minutes.